Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In the video today I'm going to show you how I make charcoal. So what I use is this 44-gallon drum with a few holes drilled in the bottom here. If you've got one that has a lid that clamps shut, perfect. That's heaps better than what I've got. I've just cut the top off this one and folded the edge in a little bit. And then you can see down there is the top, and then when I want to put it out I just put that on top. I do have to use a little bit of dirt around the edge of it just to seal it, or else I've found it keeps burning. But yeah, today I'll show you how I go about making charcoal. Alright guys, I can't stress enough how simple this process really is. You don't need to get fancy with chimneys or special setups. A basic 44-gallon drum with a lid is all you need to make charcoal. Alright, so that is the first layer of wood in. As you can see, pretty well stacked up. And then I'll just add another layer of the shorter stuff on top. Once that's in, I'll then start the fire on top and just let it burn down throughout the day until I see the embers start to form at the bottom here. And then I'll block those up, put the lid on. The wood I'm using here is from a poplar tree that had been down for a couple of years. It's only been cut and drying for about 8 months. The reason it's in these rectangular pieces is because it was originally in some large rings, and I used the same tree to make a heap of sawdust for mulching my no-dig garden. You can use pretty much any kind of wood, but in general, the harder the wood, the better the quality of charcoal you'll get. That's well and truly filled up, so I'm just going to start a fire in the top here. So that's how I'm going to start it. I'm just making a nice little teepee in the middle there. There's a decent amount of heat in there now, so I'm pretty confident that that's just going to keep burning all day. And I'll just come back at the end of the day when I want to put the lid on it and extinguish the fire. Alright, so it's about 2 hours later, and you can see, hopefully this window ain't going to change. That is looking pretty burnt down in there. You can see that we've got embers all around, and there's also no unburnt wood that I can see. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some dirt over those holes and then put the lid on this, and that should pretty much be job done. I do like to pat the soil down around it just to try to seal those holes up best I can. That's very hot. Just give it a tap down. That's pretty much as good as it's going to go on there. So to fill up those last little gaps, I'm just going to get some wet clay and just fill them in. Alright, and there we go. You can see there's no smoke escaping from the drum anymore, so pretty safe to assume it's fairly well sealed. I'd recommend leaving this for a minimum of 24 hours, more like 36 hours, especially if there's any wind around, because there's a pretty good chance that the embers in there will still be warm, and with a bit of wind they can always reignite and start burning again, and then you'll just be left with a pile of ash. But yeah, that's it. I'll come back and give you guys an update when I open this up. Alright, it's 48 hours later, so it should be cooled off now. So there you go guys, you can see how simple and easy the process really is. Just load up your drum with wood, light your fire on top, and once you see glowing coals at the bottom and no unburnt wood left, seal it up, let it cool down completely, and you'll have your homemade charcoal. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, as it really helps. Cheers.